What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever. Period. Pooh
Nana.
The fuck? I am your host, Pharaoh. We're joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee. Lee, baby, how you doing, honey?
I'm doing good. Am I enjoying the season? Well, no. She's just not giving. We talked about it in the first drop. You know, very unseasoned.
Okay.
Very much passing the brown paper bag test. Very much giving, DEI initiative have been revoked.
Amen. Thanks to
that's
Trump.
Just kind of where we are right now. And as we can see, without diversity, how bland the process is. It's no shade. It's no
love
shade.
At least
blind? It's definitely something. Let's just say that.
Okay. Love
it's just it's bad. This is what I also came to realize as well. Because a lot of people are saying the season is boring, which it is. But like I was thinking, like, why is the season boring? And it's because there is no drama. And it's like, wow, we're actually all sick as fuck. Because this is supposed to be a love show about them falling in love. And the boring moments is them falling in love. So we all basically just want to see them fall the fuck out. And you know like, what? That's actually kind of sick and twisted. Like, it's giving Black Mirror a little bit. Like, we're bored because they're not fighting when the premise of the show is for them to fall in love. But at the end of the day, it's a show. I want to be entertained.
You actually are spilling. You actually are spilling. Sometimes
the thing is like for example, the only relationship that's giving us entertainment is Dave and Lauren. Yet everyone's just dragging the fuck out of Dave and Lauren, which as you should, because Dave is a weirdo and Lauren is cracked. But it's like that's just so interesting. Like how, I mean, we're seeing it happen live. Like people always talk about how they want entertainment. When someone is giving any entertainment, they're the ones getting dragged. But I feel like it's kind of like a mutually beneficial relationship. It's like I want to be able to drag someone and I want to be entertained. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. That's why I never subscribe too much to like online bullying, like going to someone's DMs, going to someone's comments. Cause it's like, at the end of the day, if you're providing entertainment, I'm seated. Like if you're not providing anything for me to talk about, I have nothing to talk about. Majority of this podcast is about to be about Dave and Lauren because they gave us something to talk about. And I would much rather that than a boring ass bitch. And that goes really any show.
I do agree. Including Angela from Big Brother?
Yeah, it was somebody to complain about. Like it's fun. It's like it's
fun to complain.
Like I said, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. Like I'm watching the show. I don't want to have nothing to talk about. Like I just said, I'm not a stan of Angela and Tucker. Like I don't necessarily love them and feel like they can do no wrong. And I think that's where the issue come in at. But at the end of the day, I do like entertainment, whether I like the person or not.
I do agree. I will say for me, sometimes with love shows, because I'm a little bit more into love shows, I do sometimes want to see the romance. I loved Taylor and Garrett last season. I liked their moments. It was cute, but it had to be surrounded by some drama. Like other people needed to be having drama. If one of these couples was in love and everybody else was having drama, I think I would like that one couple. But because everyone's just kind of all up on each other, rubbing up on each other, loving up on each other, I'm like, okay, who gonna fight?
Who the hell is Lauren and Cameron? They saying Lauren and Cameron were so much fun to watch.
They keep calling him Cameron. Who is Cameron? Is that his real name?
Is it from a different season or is it this Lauren? Y'all can't be confusing us now. We only seen 2 seasons.
Oh yeah, they talking about past seasons. Yeah, I enjoy some. Well, I remember enjoying Taylor and Garrett, and honestly, I liked who's that boy who had a whole wife, kids, and family?
Ashley and Tyler.
Ashley,
okay, season 1.
Okay, yeah.
Someone
I like Ashley
said on Twitter
too.
that we missed the good seasons. Apparently 1 through 6 was great. We came in on 7 and now we have 8. And I will say I thought 7 wasn't as good as what I assumed Love is Blind would be based off the stories. But this one, like, really wow, like season 7 was great compared to this.
Yeah, it was. Because season 7 had drama by now. Like, I love the drama. And I think the show, like, entitles drama. Like, of course you're gonna get drama out of this, asking people to marry each other after a month. You're gonna get a lot of drama. And it's like, even with that premise, these couples are still boring. I don't understand. Like, some couples are just boring couples. I feel like some couples are just actually in this lovey-dovey stage, and then we have David and Lauren. It's like, damn, that's it. I don't know.
And the thing is too, like what they'll do is put in the previews all of this interest and shit, because I feel like the preview for this next drop was so dramatic. But like all they do is cut those scenes and put it in the preview. And I mean, like, because literally the episodes, 90% of it, nothing is happening. Like literally this drop, I went ahead and watched at 1.5 speed because I'm like, they aren't talking about anything. And it's not even like, for me, cutesy or fun to see them like fall in love. It's just like general like cupcaking. Like I feel like I'm not getting anything out of this. So yeah, girl, I was just trying to get to the good pieces. And literally, like once you do it that way, it's like you really notice how little of it is honestly relevant at all.
Yeah, some of it I hate because even these, no shade, I like cutesy and fun moments. I don't feel like they're having cutesy and fun moments. Like the moments of them bonding and getting to know each other, they don't feel as interesting as the ones from last season. Last season, when they were bonding and getting to know each other, I remember feeling like, oh my God, like, yes, this is love. And they're actually, I don't feel that. I don't feel that for anybody. I don't feel like none of them are actually for real in love. I don't feel like none of them really, like none of it gives.
That's the thing. I thought Ben and Sara was some real lovers, but then at the end of the drop, it's like, well, because like I feel like for example, I could see Daniel and Taylor getting engaged and married, but genuinely, I'm like, what is the real connection there? Y'all don't have one. Devin and Virginia, for some reason, I feel like they're not gonna get married, but I could also see them doing it. And once again, it's like, I don't feel enough depth with that relationship. Like, I know I haven't seen too many seasons, but when I saw Taylor and Garrett, I was like, this is what this experiment is supposed to be about. Like, if it doesn't click that instantly, then it's probably not something that's going to last. And I don't mean click like Joey and Monica. Because I feel like Joey and Monica are another example of like, where's the real like depth that's tying you together? Are y'all really building and unpacking all of these things? Or are y'all just like blindly in love and want to get married? I feel like most of these people just want to say that they're in a marriage.
Yeah. And I was thinking throughout this job, I was like, oh my God, like this is real for these people. Like, no matter how much I'm watching it and I'm like, bitch, y'all not getting married. They genuinely feel like they are getting married in this moment. This is real. Some of them, because some of them I feel like just on here for TV. But for some of them, I really feel like it's like, wow, like I'm gonna get married and yes, come meet my parents and da da da. Because that's big. Like
it is.
I know I'm just watching a show, but it's big to introduce someone to your family and have them consent to y'all getting married and da da da. Y'all are for real. Y'all are dead.
And I think like that's so interesting to me. Like this entire experiment is just so interesting because I really can't fully grasp how they're able to move forward with these big steps. Like a part of me feels like they have to be acting, right? Like the fact that by the end of this show they are actually legally married, like I cannot grasp that concept. Even though like I understand, like you're in the pods, there's nothing to talk about all day. Because Devin kind of explained it to his family later, like after 10 days, we're talking about our future, we're talking about this, and I don't know. It just to me like. I can't imagine it. I just can't imagine it. Like I can see how in some instances it could work, but like for the most part, I can see why it doesn't. Because honestly, you're not building a real foundation, especially because a lot of people in general, while they think they're ready for certain things like a relationship, they're just truly not. And that's what the drama comes in at. But yeah, I just feel like in a situation like this season, it seems like a lot of them aren't getting deep enough to even unpack any problems if they are there.
I agree. Yeah, I feel like I see how it could work for certain type of, I guess, personality types, because there's some marriages out there who they're like, I'm just not getting a divorce. Like, even if they feel like they don't love their partner as much or whatever, it's just a commitment. They're just deciding to commit to this person through marriage. And I kind of see that with someone like Virginia, maybe even Devin and Virginia. Like, I kind of feel like it's a situation where it's like, when I get married, I'm just going to choose that person and I'm just going to decide to choose them, and I'm not getting a divorce, and we don't see that in our family. And that's what Ashley claimed last season.
But I was literally going to talk about that with this season, because when Taylor, when the families was meeting with Daniel and Taylor family, her mom mentioned that like, we don't believe in divorce in this family. No one in this family gets a divorce. I just like that's very harmful rhetoric. Like not to be too woke, And I will say I don't have a grand scope of marriage because honestly, I'm just not. That's not something I'm just that attached to, especially as like a gay man. Like I feel like those heteronormative things never really, set in me. But like I don't like that because I feel like it leads a lot of people in situations that they're not happy in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's true.
You don't have to put up with bullshit for the sake of saying that, I'm in a marriage and to death do us part. You know what I mean? Because like honestly, like all of those things are like, I feel like society
It
preaches
is.
them as so important. And a lot of people also use their religious background to also preach it as well. But I feel like there's no situation where you are unhappy that you should stay for the sake of like some saying or some rule that you believe is there. Like if you're not happy in a situation, you need to leave.
I agree. I feel like, and I do feel like that's why I kind of go back to there's personality types that this could work for. This experiment could work for. I think that there are marriages to this day who there's 80-year-old people, 70-year-old people, they've been married for 30 years. And honestly, they just have decided to stay together, whether they were happy at points, sad at points, upset, whatever it is. And they decided, and it works for their personality type, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like I have friends who I'm like, eventually this show could work for you. When you're like 30 and you feel like you don't want to be alone anymore and you could go on here and you can make any situation work with whoever you find and you can move forward and you can be happy in that.
And I feel like that's because a lot of people really just settle for the situation that they're in. And it's like,
that's very true.
And I feel like that's why I really identify a lot. Like, I feel like I see a lot of people just being in relationships because they want to be in a relationship. And I don't think that should lead into marriage. Like I got some red flags even with Devin when they were meeting his family, like him saying stuff like, oh, you know how much I want to be married? Like, you know how much I wanted this? And it's like, do you just want to be married? So anyone who's going to come and say they want to be your wife, you're just going to make them your wife?
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of people think that. Like Ashley gave that last season, like, oh, you just want to say that you have a man. So you could tell us, y'all don't know what it's like to be married.
And it's hard because there is a part of marriage, of every marriage, where you do have to actively choose them, even when you're mad at them, even when you don't like them, even when you hate them. So I feel like some of these people with this fantasy of wanting to get married, they're thinking of those points of marriage. And they're like, well, I am going to choose them when they're sick. I am going to choose, because that's what a marriage is. And I think this idea of marriage being choosing someone no matter what has like kind of dived into some of these people's heads. And that's what they think it is. And it is to an extent, because no marriage is going to last 50 years without a problem. Period. There's going to be a problem. There's going to be an argument. There's going to be an issue. And you do have to decide actively to stay with that person regardless. But it's just like, I think it's gone a little bit too far for some people to where it's like they're claiming they're going to stay with them regardless, even through cheating. Even through cheating, some people stay.
Cheating, abuse, I mean,
all
children popping up out of nowhere, all kinds of shit. And I feel like it's different between like one situation happens and you move past it from like a situation continuously happening, and you're just now in a marriage where you don't feel loved at all. Like this is basically like a business deal, like a friendship. Like
exactly. Let's get into the episode though, honey. We got to get into it. It was not that much.
I mean, I don't have much to say about most of these couples other than the slight mess. Because I will say that the interesting thing about this show is when the drama is there, it be tea as fuck.
It's interesting. I like relationship drama. I do actually.
Yeah.
I do.
The thing is, I don't, because as a kid, like I never watched like too many relationship shows. Like I remember like The Bachelorette and The Bachelor. I got into it for like a year or two, but it wasn't something I could really stick with, honestly, because I feel like there wasn't a lot of diversity on that show. So it didn't really keep me interested that much. And then, of course, I watched Are You the One? Are You the One was way more drama than love, though. You know? And then other than that, I feel like I never really got into love.
Because you never watched the flavor of love in them.
I didn't get into flavor of love. But shows like that is even more drama than actual love. You know what I mean? I'm excited to get into Love Island this summer because I'm like, what's the balance? Because genuinely, I don't give a fuck about these people actually falling in love. Like I said earlier, I want to see them fight. So I want to see issues. And I feel like I've heard from the grapevine that Love Island kind of they get into it. You know what I mean? But that's what we're here for. I'm here for the relationship drama because that is where it gets good. Like it be tea. It really be tea. But you gotta fucking fast forward to get there.
David and Lauren. Just the whole mess. Mess number one and mess number two all together overall. No shade. They're clearly not going to get together. No shade.
And this is why I texted you. I'm like, I'm curious. Like, was this a situation? Because when they met for the first time, it gave very much awkward. It gave very much like, are y'all feeling each other like that? And then towards these 3 episodes, it's like, you know, it's him bringing up all of these reasons as to why he can't feel comfortable with moving forward. And I'm like, did he decide when he first met her that he didn't want her? Or is it truly his sister and his friends being like, no, this experiment is stupid. You need to leave. And then them adding on this extra shit about this dude. Because I can't tell if the whole her speaking to another guy thing is made up or not? Like
it's made up. It's 100% made up.
Even if by the friends, or do you think he made it up?
I think, well, she was obviously speaking to a guy. She admitted that. So that's true. And I think he does know of the guy, or the friends know of the guy. But I think the extent that he claims it's bothering him is fueled by the fact that he don't want to be with her. He just doesn't want to be with her. And I think what it is it's no shade to Lauren, but I really feel like at first he saw her and he felt her energy and was like, okay, let's see. But when we got to the vacation, she was acting weird and awkward. And I mean, they both it both seemed awkward, but I don't think she's his type. I don't think she's the type of person that can stand with him for the rest of their life. And I think he's sensing that, because she's kind of like, am I being awkward? Am I being weird?
I mean, I feel like he should have sensed that in the fucking pods. I mean, to be fair, he didn't see everything that we saw.
Yeah.
I could tell she was cracked. But her, like, there was like a detachment there that gave very much like codependent, in my opinion.
It did.
And I maybe he just couldn't tell from the pod, so I'll let him have it. But like, it's very obvious outside of the pods. Like, it is. Lauren is one of those people that got on the show because she was desperate to get into a marriage. And it's no shade. It's no shade. Because so many red flags inside of the pods. And he's basically telling her to her face, I don't want you. And she is still refusing to leave. Like, she's still trying to make this work. And she's like, well, why can't we talk about it? Why can't I talk to your friends? Why can't I defend myself? Girl, he wants you to leave. But I will say, she brought up in these 3 episodes dropped that if you want me to go, then say something. Like, you have to be honest. Like, can we move forward from this? So she did bring it up at one point. And he told her that he does love her. So I'm like, if he truly does not want her, like I can't grasp that. If he truly does not want her, why would he tell her?
You got to remember,
let's move forward.
This was the nigga in the pods, and Molly said she had to guide him.
You're right.
Her,
you're right.
That he is choosing Lauren. She's like, so who do you feel like you have a better connection with? He was like, well, I don't know. She's like, do you feel like you have a better connection with Lauren personally? So right. And then he was like, well, yeah, a little. And she was like, so you made a decision. He was like, see, you're trying to make me make a decision. He does not want to take accountability or ever step up to the plate of anything. So instead of him leaving her, he's going to make this the most difficult decision for her ever, until she says, okay, I guess we can't get married. And she's never going to say that.
Because you saw in the preview, she's like, yep, it's our wedding day.
Yep.
Girl, you let him play up in your face all the way to the wedding day that he's
not played in her own face. She played in her own face. He's treating her like shit. Every conversation is about how she talked to this one man for 2 seconds.
Like, literally after the vacation, they have not talked about anything but that. And it's not an open conversation. It's him saying, well, these are what the people are saying.
Yep.
And I feel weird about it. And she's like, well, that didn't happen. He's like, but this is what they're saying.
That's what my friends are saying, though.
But I'm your fiance, nigga. Like, what are you talking about?
And then what got me, we really just talking about it now. I'm thinking about it. But what got me was at the end, she was like, oh, so we're planning to go meet your friends, right? And he was like, yeah, we are, but I don't know. I just feel like we do have to talk about it. And she was like, I can talk about it. He was like, well, they're not going to necessarily come because they don't want you to be uncomfortable. Right. She's like, I want to be uncomfortable. I want to get to the bottom of this so we can get married. Let's get to it. And he was like, well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. And then by the end of that conversation, he's like, maybe they shouldn't come. They don't got shit to say.
They were never coming. I don't think they were ever coming. They were never going to be on the way. Never at all. Coming. And then even at the end, she's like, well, I would want us to stay and talk it out. And he's like, see, that's where we disconnect because I wouldn't. Like, I want to leave. And she's like,
bye.
Okay. And then we saw in the preview for the next drop, it seems like Molly comes back into the picture. Mama? Yeah. Like, he's gonna play her face this entire time. Like, there are so many sound bites of her looking like the biggest dumbass in the history of the goddamn show. Like, girl, please, mama. Like, oh my god. And y'all, if y'all saying these early seasons are actually good, I may go back and watch those because I do feel like I can see how this is an interesting show.
Yeah,
if there's more tea happening, because the little tea we get is like, ooh. I do hope it's not. And that's also what's unfortunate because I can see how most of the drama comes from a man making a woman look stupid as hell. Yeah. And do I want to see that necessarily?
I think sometimes the woman is making the man look stupid.
I would hope so. Because the Hannah Nick situation, that was messy. That was fucking messy. That was messy as hell. But I kind of would like to see more situations like that, like the Hannah and Nick tease, like where she's the dominant one and she's like, You're not good enough. But yeah, no, this was entirely crazy. And it starts literally at the vacation because they're not connecting at all.
Yeah, they're not.
Like, there's no connection. He is not being emotionally available to her at all. And I'm just like, sister, smell the roses. Yeah. Oh, they said season 1, the drama was too good with the love triangles. Ooh. Season 1, OG and Dallas season. Oh, Dallas. Yes, Dallas. Period. Season 2 is an absolute train wreck. Chicago, girl, I can't talk. Did not show well, I must say. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, I really need so many shows with just an all black version.
I agree.
Like black American, because I feel like they make a lot of like shows for like different genres. Like you have a BB, different countries version of this and stuff like that. Different countries. But I feel like black American, there aren't like projects created specifically for that, and that is what I need. Like I need a full black Love Is Blind experiment. I need a full black Big Brother experiment, Survivor experiment, like all of them. Love Island, like The Challenge. Like I want basically a black version. Big Brother. I need a full black version of a reality show.
I actually agree with that, and I do think that honestly, black people consume a lot of media, which is why I do feel like certain programs have noticed that is the smart way to go. Like Real Housewives, they know there should be an all black version of Real Housewives because Atlanta has done damn near the best. So it's like I think people who learn that niche will get a lot of money from it because black people will consume our people, baby. We will watch Black Love.
I see a lot of black people say they are not watching this season because they're like, girl, we're bored.
We're bored.
Oh, give us what we're Ready to Love, which is an all black love show. I never heard of that.
I've heard of Ready to Love.
I've never heard. Is that on Netflix?
I don't know if it's on Netflix, but I've heard of it. But yes, honey.
I was on like Max and Discovery.
I got Max.
That's why I feel like I haven't heard of it.
I got Max. But yes, David is weird. Also, like throughout the vacation, they end up meeting up with the other couples. And when they meet up with the other couples, he has a whole montage of him asking every other couple if they've had sex yet. I'm like, what's wrong?
Girl, it was so icky. It's
You're
like
weird.
Because what is even the purpose? And then he starts with Devin. Yep. I'm like, okay, these two bros, you know. But then he goes to the women.
He goes to Monica, and Virginia.
Like, why are you asking them? And I'm also just like, I was concerned why they didn't feel like it was weird. They kind of answered in a very and it's like, why is that any of his business? Why is he asking? And then he's just offering information. Yeah, me and Lauren, we haven't had sex. Hold on. I will say. Do you remember what her excuse was? I didn't write it down. Why did she say they can't have sex? Because a part of me felt like
she's lying. She said she was like, she was lying. She was like, I went to the gynecologist. Oh no, I went to get a what is it called when you shave yourself, but it's not shave, it's wax. A wax. Yeah, she went to get a wax and she said, yeah, the wax lady told me I can't have sex for 48 hours. Sucks.
Okay, I don't know about the
she lied. I ain't never heard of that.
Well, I don't know about the JJ. I ain't got a pussy for real.
Okay, girls with a bikini wax.
I feel like I've never heard that you cannot have sex after a bikini.
Maybe everybody else just doesn't listen to that suggestion.
Girls in the chat, what's tea? Because I feel like I've never heard that.
Girls in the chat.
If that's tea, that's tea. But I also feel like I'm not saying that she didn't get. I'm not saying that you can get a wax and you can still have sex. I'm saying I don't think she ever went to go get waxed. I don't think she went to go get waxed. I just think she wanted to have sex yet. That's how it felt to me.
I agree.
But I don't know.
I don't know. But no, it did sound like she didn't want to.
T-Fran said that's true. Okay.
T-Fran, you a lady?
T-Fran, I assumed it.
Fran. I never thought of that. I never thought of it in that way. I don't see gender.
You don't see gender with the comments.
I don't see gender.
I feel like I always assign gender based on like how people message.
T-Fran is a lady. I think I thought T-Fran was a man. Actually, maybe I do see gender, and I thought it was a man.
Kayla stupid. She said it's a suggestion. I'm gonna call it that. I'm getting waxed for a reason. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I thought too. But also, no. What also got me was she was explaining it as if this was her first ever. Maybe it was her first ever bikini wax.
Maybe.
But the way she was talking about it was like, yeah, I went to get a bikini wax and they told me I shouldn't have sex with them. And he didn't seem to. I would have been suspicious. I was like, girl, what's fucking about that?
Like literally, I've only heard women being like, oh, I'm getting the wax because I got some things prepped. You know?
Yeah.
Look, Cassie said the same thing. Look, if that's true, then I broke that rule. I feel like I've never heard that. But like I said, low-key, I don't even think she would go get waxed. I was like, she shaved herself and said, girl, it's not happening. It's not happening.
But this is my thing. She that happened. Also, he was also telling everybody, and this is, I don't know why this is so weird to me, but it's so weird to me. He keeps mentioning that Lauren pees a lot. He mentioned to everybody at the party that Lauren pees a lot. Every time they talk, he has to bring up, yeah, you pee a lot. Like, girl, you go to the restroom a lot. Like, you pee a lot. Like, girl.
He has so many like quirks with her that he just like, he cannot help but just say.
It's how, if you don't like somebody, everything they do bother you. That's that.
Yes. Very much. But what I find hilarious is that this is the first time y'all are meeting anyone else but each other, the other couples in the experiment, and you're willingly volunteering the information that your fiance is pissy and she snores a lot.
Yeah.
Willingly. No one is asking. No one is inquiring this information. You're just volunteering the fact that your fiance is pissy as hell. Mm-hmm. Why do they need to know this? And it's y'all not having sex.
But that's how I know Lauren isn't mentally stable. Okay, maybe that's wrong, but let me tell you.
I mean, you're spilling.
I'm not mentally stable.
To go through a situation like this, there's some slight insecurity there.
There's something wrong there.
And I definitely get it. I definitely get it, especially when you feel like you want that companionship. You will put up with a lot. But it has to be a mental thing.
It has to be. It's something off. And then also, honestly, peeing a lot. I pee a lot because I'm crazy and I have diseases. So
crazy people pee a lot.
Yes, well, like not necessarily, but if you have like mental disorders, a lot of your like brain chemistry, if your brain and body aren't connected fully, then it messes up like your stomach, your bladder, stuff like that. And that's why my bladder has been off for like years and years and years, and you have to like train it to get back on. But anyways, that's why her bladder off. She's crazy.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I do, and that's how I know Lauren is crazy. So yeah, she needs to go see a therapist. And I said this last season, every drop. She needs a therapist and a psychiatrist. I'm scared for David to find a therapist. He might run them off. So honestly, he needs to just, damn, I almost said the most terrible thing in the world.
Oh my God. What you gonna say?
I'll
bad.
He just needs to remove himself altogether. But no, yes, it's just, I'm scared for him. But I guess he needs a therapist realistically as well. They both need therapists. They're both crazy. And they're not getting together. They're not.
It just kept getting worse and worse because they finally move in together. Like literally, like with every single couple, they show so many scenes of them like falling in love, getting to know each other, and then it leads into like some drama that lasts for 5 minutes at the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. With them, every single scene gave awkward and something else that they are getting divisive over. Because literally, when we see like a serious conversation when they're talking about their family, she's mentioning how her dad is very traditional, like he didn't like our siblings living with their fiance before marriage and stuff like that. And he was just like, well, I'm not necessarily comfortable with that. And I feel like this should have been a pod conversation. A lot of things should be pod conversations. I don't know why it's not. Yeah. But she's just like, well, no, it's not a big deal. I mean, he doesn't really know that I'm doing this, but it's not a big deal. You can still meet him. And he's like, well, I don't really want to
meet him and he don't even know
necessarily. Like it gave very much, David was over the entire experiment after he met her. Like he was done. And I could definitely see how the sister that he's flowers in the attic with and his friends, their influence, he's like, no.
Mm-hmm. Also, I feel like what was weird to me, I always find it weird a little bit that you're not meeting the parents soon. Like I feel like they should have met the parents.
True.
But if they were getting together, obviously David doesn't actually want to get with her, so of course they're not going to meet the parents. They don't care. But yes, it was just, I don't know, it's just so super weird, their whole situation. And then after this, he keeps bickering with her about this boy she met, and so she invites him to meet her friends. So they all go, they meet her friends at the gym, and her friends are basically there to kind of advocate for her, to be like, look, I know you're stressed about this other boy she was talking to. We don't even know that man. We don't know that man.
Girl, her friends rode down.
She got good friends.
So is this actually how you're feeling? Well, if that's like no shade, it's no shade. Because this is the setup. The storyline is that the Sunday before she left to go film Love is Blind, she had been talking to some guy for months up to that point. And she got on the show. She met David. David feels like it's icky that she was in talks with someone before the experiment. One, if that is actually what he even had the issue with. It might be. Because I feel like some people have different morals around it. I just feel like that's so stupid. I don't think it matters what anyone was doing before the thing, unless you were married. Like if she was married to someone, but like if she was just fucking around with the dude, I mean, it's not a big
He keeps
deal.
calling it a relationship. And I do see he's lying. Let's be frank. But I do see in his lying mind where he's saying she was dating someone the day before we got here, how he could feel weird about that. I get that.
Yeah,
but I don't think
the
he
friend,
even believes
it seems
that.
like from what he's saying, the friends is making it seem like somehow they all know him and that he moved into the same building they moved into. I was like, girl, this is too close to home, bitch. Where is he at? Let's get him on the show. But apparently they know him, and it's like the stories are completely different. The friends are saying that they saw them leave, they hooked up several times, and they've been together for a while. And then the Lauren's friends are basically saying like, no, like they were not in a relationship. We never met him. That's how we know he's not in a relationship. And like literally, he's just a stalker. Like he's trying to get on TV. Like he's trying to make this into a big thing. So two entirely different stories. But like I'm just curious as to like who's like really telling the truth. Because like no shade, when the friends were explaining it, I was like, y'all sticking up for y'all bitch. Like
they had a lot of information.
Girl, they had a full storyline as to why it didn't make sense. Mind you, it wasn't no real facts. It was just y'all.
One of the friends said that he DM'd her on some "you ready to go ruin this marriage" type of shit. And I was like, did he really DM you?
That's what I'm saying. Like, girl, show me the DM. That's what I would ask. But at the same time, I'm like, is the friends even saying anything, or is Dave making it up, or is the friends even making it a biggest problem as he's making it seem like? I'm really curious. Like I want to hear all the tea.
Yeah, I feel like I wish he would actually bring his friends to the table, because I don't feel like he has friends. I think those are two imaginary.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but if they're real, I don't think they're explaining it the way he's. I think they were saying, "Oh yeah, we saw her. They used to talk." And he's making it. They said you were in a relationship, and you did. He added all that blemish because he wants her to leave, and she won't do it. Oh my god!
Yeah,
but then
I'm so curious as to like why he would only listen to them. Like he's not taking into account her argument at all.
And she said that because after this month, every time they talk about it, she cries. At the gym, her friends left, and she's crying about it because she's like, I don't really know what to do from this point because you don't trust me. And then later on, they're back at the house and they have a full-blown argument about it again. And this is when, of course, he says his friends are on standby. She's crying and she's like, my main issue is, what do you want from me? I'm telling you this isn't a thing. I'm telling you I want to talk to your friends. I want to move past this, but I can't give you anything because I don't know what you need. What do you need to understand that this is some bullshit and you don't got to worry about it? What do you need? And he doesn't have anything for her because he really just wants her to leave him.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's all.
But then he's saying, I love you so much. I do want to be with you. Boy, get the fuck. Get the fuck. I just think he's a punk. I think he's a punk who doesn't want to, who never wants to make a decision in his life. So he does not want to decide, I don't want to get married. He wants to convince her to unmarry him. And that's what he's going to do. Or he's going to ghost her. Because she also asked one moment in this drop, have you ever ghosted someone? Oh, maybe that was foreshadowing.
It probably was. He going to ghost her on the wedding day.
He is. And he was like, of course. Why the fuck wouldn't I have? He seemed offended that she asked that. He was like, duh. I've definitely ghosted somebody. Fuck is you talking about? You could get ghosted. That's the energy I got personally. But
it's just and then same with this T-Fran. Dave's friends don't want to be on the show, so I think he's also making it bigger than what it needs to be. It doesn't seem like any of David's friends, family care to partake in this experiment. But at the same time, like you kind of knew that going in. No,
he did because he kept talking about it in the pods. Yeah, my sister, she probably not gonna want to do none of this.
Also, like I find it very hard to believe that David wasn't fucking somebody before the pods too, though.
He was. She said that. She said, weren't you? No, she called him out. She said, but you were also like swiping on one of the apps before. And he was like, yeah, but I wasn't in a relationship with him. She was like, I wasn't in a relationship with him. He's just a fucking liar. Get him off my screen.
But I can see how, just from like, if this is true, from the POV of him and the friends, it's like, because I feel like it kind of gives like that territorial vibe. It's like, we know him and you was sleeping around with him.
Yeah. Like
you fucking the crew.
Type shit.
Who is this lady? Mind you met her through some 10-day pod situation on Netflix. Like, because I will say, any of my close friends or family came to me.
I can't get on Love Is Blind.
Girl, Farrah, if you came to me about some motherfucking Love Is Blind.
If I did an experience, okay, so I went into pods for 10 days. I met a nigga. I fell in love with the nigga. Probably would happen. I'm a lover. I move forward in the experiment. I come home. We get to living in an apartment together, and I say, can you come speak to this person? This is who I'm marrying.
I am going to wear him out, mama.
Amen.
What's his middle name? What's his favorite color? Do you know how his mom is like? Do you know she was born?
I think he can answer those questions.
What is his dreams and aspiration in life? What is your dreams and aspiration in life?
Real.
Do you support Trump?
Real.
Do you support Obama? Do you vote?
Real.
Did you vote for Kamala?
Real.
How do you feel about the LGBT community?
Real.
Damn. Like, I just like it would be a list of like.
It sounds like I would be in great hands though. If you have great friends who could step on, because Lauren's friends, and this is the risk of having friends that are going to back you regardless. Sometimes you don't need to get backed. If Lauren's friends were the best friends in the world, they would have sat. She would have left. He would have left, and they would have said, "You need to leave that nigga right the fuck now because he don't trust you, and you getting married with a nigga who don't trust you in 2 weeks is fucking stupid. The fuck out." Before I
like, and the fact that they were trying to help her in the situation, it gave very much like, girl, we know you want this. We're gonna help you. Like, no. The fact that he's questioning you so much, y'all haven't gotten one type of bond since y'all left the pods. Like, girl, how do you not know this is not a good situation for you?
Yeah, and I that's another reason why I wish we had a more diverse cast, because I do think I would love to see some. Let's just be frank. I would love to see a black friend on this show, because last season we didn't really get to see their friend. Well, we saw Ramsey's and Marissa's friends, but they weren't black. And then with Tim and what is her Alex, they didn't make it to that stage. And then who else was black? Ashley and Tyler. We saw their family, not their friends. I want some black friends. I need some
black. Why I need this. I need this specific experiment with fully black people. Really? Like, I want a black man to bring home this woman to his black ass family, and then be like, "Who the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
Who this for?" Like I don't want no motherfucking like Fresh Prince Huxtable black family. I want an average middle class. My level of status in this country, black family, to be able to like react to this, because I want to see those reactions. I want to hear those conversations.
My mama would act a fool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know my mama would be like, "What?" My sister would be like, "Huh?" Like, what are we doing?
You know what I will say? I think my parents, I think they would act a fool, but my parents would act a fool, but they would just be like, "Look, you're old, you're grown." Kind of with some of these people parents, but they're like, "You're 30." Like, I feel like it's hard when it's a 30-year-old. What do you say?
That's true. That's true. I just feel like I'm definitely the type of person where, like, girl, you can do it, but don't think I'm approve of it. I do not support this. I do not support him. I do not like him.
Now, my sister, I don't think this would fly for her. I don't think,
because I mean, how, like, now that we know the entire process, it's only 10 days long. They all propose on the same day. It's like, no. Yeah. Like, originally I thought, oh, this is a few weeks. Some people propose within the first week. Some people propose like 3 weeks later. Like, again, no, this is specifically a 10-day process where you, by the end of it, have to choose whether or not you want to marry this person. The marriage takes place like what, 16, 20 days later? Yeah. Like, there's no way in hell, even if I felt like you genuinely liked them and they were good for you, that I think it would be smart to get married within the next 2 weeks. Yeah. Like, imagine that. Imagine if you were about to get married in 2 weeks to someone you just met 10 days ago.
I could do it.
You could do it, but like, you actually want to last in it? Do you actually want this person? Like,
T. Fran says, "Why did I just see a post from Lauren saying she was upset she couldn't do sex or physical activity after the wax? It was because she had to cancel a spin class she had set up and didn't mean sex." What? Lauren is silly. I'm done with David. Any more thoughts?
No, that's really it. Like I said, they're the most entertaining thing about the season. So, like, even though David's a terrible person and Lauren is cracked, I can't come at them too hard, because they're giving us something to talk about, Mama.
They're giving us something to talk about. Next, we have Daniel and Taylor. We started off the drop with Daniel and Taylor, actually.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be good, because we ended the first drop with the whole true crime of it.
And I clocked exactly. I knew this is what was going to happen. I knew she was just going to just move forward. No, and I knew she was crazy too. I had a feeling she was crazy, and she was. And
okay, Taylor says the honeymoon is a week, then they live together. So 10 days plus a week, that's 17 days, and they live together for a month. That's 30+7.
47.
Okay.
47 days. Okay. So if I came to you and I was like, it's been 20 days.
If it hasn't been longer than a year, no.
Damn. You're right. But I'm old. Not that they're old. Not that they're old.
That makes it even worse. That means you're desperate. You're doing this out of desperation.
I am.
And that's not good. You should not go into a relationship desperate. Like,
isn't every marriage desperate?
No. Well, it shouldn't be. Most probably are, but it shouldn't.
Most probably are. Okay. I just feel like so let's say I'm 35, single, alone, and I'm like, let me go on Love Is Blind.
I think honestly, that's what the show is for. It's the
right, like that's
create.
What it's for.
It's supposed to create a recipe for disaster. Because like, at the end of the day,
oh my God.
If you're 30, like honestly, if your purpose for going on this show is because you're older, you're alone, and you feel like you can't find anybody in the real world,
think that's everybody's purpose.
I don't think you should go on this show. Because at the end of the day, when entering a relationship, like I said, you shouldn't be desperate. Like I don't think you should enter a relationship because you feel like, oh my God, I'm so lonely. I can't be by myself. Like, I just need someone there with me. Because then, like I said, you're going to get someone that you feel you have to be codependent on. You can't feel happiness unless they're there for you. Like, you need to, what RuPaul say? If you don't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Amen. I was just going to say, you're right, because I was like, okay, so what is the recipe of a successful situation in this situation? And I think of Taylor and Garrett. Obviously, I have to because I haven't seen anything else. And honestly, I remember them both talking about how, look, I am who I am. I remember Taylor told Garrett, she was like, look, I am who I am. I'm a businesswoman. I want to work. I don't want to leave my state. I want to do what the fuck I'm going to do. So are you okay with that or not? And he was like, honestly, same. I don't want to leave where the fuck I'm at. I don't want to stop doing what the fuck I'm doing because I'm that nigga. And they was like, well, good. And then they got together. And I feel like that's the perfect type of people who can actually succeed in this. You have to be a full realized human. And then you still shouldn't come on Love Is Blind. But I mean, I guess if you must. At least be a full realized human and then come on.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty behind it is that some couples really do work and are successful, and I think that's beautiful. But I don't think it's because the experiment works. I just think
they are full realized humans, and they probably could have met somebody even outside of the show easily. Like Taylor and Gary would have got married probably regardless, even if it not to each other necessarily. But and I guess that's beautiful as well. Like now that's your wife. They've been married for over a year. And now they can have kids, they can have a family. That's beautiful. You wouldn't have met the love of your life if you didn't go on this show. So I get that beautiful part of it. But also it's like, you probably would have met another love of your life elsewhere. Do you feel like there can be multiple love of your lives? Do you feel like it's like there's one person for you? No. Or do you think it's more so you can find somebody anywhere?
I think you can find somebody anywhere. I don't believe in being in love with two people at the same time. But
now how you don't believe in that?
I mean, how are you being in love with people? Like, no, like in love with people at the same time to where you want to be married or in a relationship with both of them. I do not believe in that.
So non-monogamy. There's non-monogamous people out here.
I feel like, and I will say, I don't hear many stories outside of what I'm about to say, but I feel like a lot of times when I see polygamy, and maybe this is just a negative thing, so anyone who's practicing it, please educate me. Mm-hmm. It feels like more of a sexual thing. It doesn't feel as if it's like actual love there. Like Nick Cannon fucking all these women and getting them baby and creating all these broken homes. There's no way.
Like polygamy people will feel offended that you mentioned Nick Cannon.
But I just feel like like thinking about it, it's like no way one person can provide what each of those people need. And if you feel like you're getting enough, then
but
I don't know.
Some polygamists is I guess bisexual. Like the women can provide for each other as well. And then the man is also providing. Now, some of them aren't. Some of them are more so it's just the man, and both of these girls have those men.
And I feel like don't see those. I see a lot. I see a lot of situations where it's like one man, multiple women, and he's impregnated several of them.
Yeah, that's
he's just hopping to the next one whenever he wants, adding more whenever he wants, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like at least that is like what's shown or like what I've seen. I feel like I have a situation where it's like, oh, this is a 4-person couple or a 3-person couple, and they're all equally loving each other. I mean, it's not a concept I understand. If people are actually going through that, then I can't say it's not real. It's clearly happening somewhere.
I'm trying to understand.
Really make sense to me.
I'm trying to understand it, and I think the best like way I can try to fathom how that could work is like, I guess like a friend group where there's multiple people. I'm like, I mean, I can have a friend group where I have multiple friends and they're friends with each other and I'm friends with them and they're friends with me and we can all feel satisfied as friends. I also thought about like family. Like in my family, like I'm family with my sister, my brother, and my mom and my dad, and we're all providing each other what we need. So I'm like, technically, those are love type of relationships. I guess it could work romantically. I just feel like romantically, it just has another level.
Like maybe it's a me thing. Like I feel like personally, not that I need your undivided attention, but like I wouldn't get enough in a situation where my love and attention has to be divided with another person.
But you would also love that other part. What if it's you love two people?
I still though, like I said, I'm someone who can't. But I'm someone who can't. So I'm speaking on my experience. Like I wouldn't be able to like them both the same, and I wouldn't feel, enough reassurance from just, I don't know. Like I just feel like it's a unity between two people. Like when you add more, it's like I don't know. Like
that's real, but is it more like a now we're getting deep. I'm wondering, is it kind of like a sexuality in a way, like how you're gay, but they're straight people. So a straight person could do this, but you couldn't do this. Maybe it's like that. Like there's monogamous
people who are not into it either. What you mean?
No. I'm using gay and straight as an example. I'm using gay and straight as an example. Maybe it's like a sexuality where there's certain people in the world who are monogamous and that is their
it just works for them.
And there's some people who are polygamous where it's like in their mind, the way that their brain works, the way that they work as a human, this is something that they can't or they want to do even. Maybe it's more so like that. Like there's certain people, maybe not a big percentage.
I will say, honestly, it just, from the outside looking at it, it confuses me how anybody would want to be in a relationship when you're sister wives with like 5 other people. That never makes sense to me.
That's their sister.
I don't get that.
That's their sister. That's very interesting. Oh my God. T. Fran says, from my understanding, polyamory is different from polygamy. I knew that too, but I didn't know the difference.
Honestly, I thought it was the exact same thing.
I knew it was different stuff. A lot of polygamy uses a lot of oppression. Polygamy is what we were talking about.
Okay, so that's the Nick Cannons, the Leo.
Polyamory is what Bailey Dayton is. Bailey Dayton does polyamory, she says. So there is that. It's consensual between every party, and they all are a part.
Okay, so maybe I'm talking about polygamy, not polyamory. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I still stand by the opinion. Like me specifically, like
you could never.
I need all of it. I don't need you to.
Isn't there a polygamy show? Isn't there like a polygamy show or like a Sister Wives? Isn't that a show called Sister Wives?
Yeah, I didn't really watch this, so I don't know the concept.
I could have swore it was, but I need to get more educated on that because, girl, I don't know. We just sorry if we offended anybody. It was not our intention. We're just trying to learn. Educate us and let's move forward. What? But anyways, so boom, Daniel and Taylor. They started off. Taylor, of course, was accusing him of knowing her. The producer stepped in and they was like, "Look, girl, we will give you your phone if you want to clear this
messy." But I said this last podcast, bitch. That would have been me. I would have pulled my phone out so motherfucking fast. Let's get the real tea.
Let's get the real tea. So she pulls it up,
and then she got the phone,
and she's.
Mind you, what was she supposed to find? Like, let's go back to the first drop. She said that I remember before coming to the to the experiment, you following me and then unfollowing me.
Yes.
And there was something about a Christmas picture and And it's like, girl, how did you remember this one specific thing? That's one. 2, you get the phone. You scroll, it seemed like she went to her page or something. Like, how did you expect to even
She said she had the followers app, which shows you everyone who's ever followed you, even if they unfollowed you.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch
she's claiming she's going through that app, but either way, she didn't find anything. So either he never followed you and you're crazy, or he never followed you and you're crazy.
Okay. I didn't catch that part. I'm like, because where were you going to go on Instagram and find? But the followers app makes sense.
The followers app.
But
she still didn't find anything. So I'm like,
and it's like you fully accuse this man of being like, I mean, FBI most wanted list level of stalker.
Yep.
Like, bitch, that would have been scary, the amount of access he had to be able to get you like this. Like, oh my God.
And let me tell you something.
What?
There's a difference between loving someone, liking someone, and marrying someone. In this moment, even if Daniel felt like I still like her. I still love her. I still want to be with her. The marriage should have been called off. You don't trust me the second we meet.
This is a red flag.
What the fuck?
Like she took one thing, because this is all in her head. Mind you, this is all in her head.
She made it up.
She did not find him. She made it up. So it was this one inkling, and it just grew and it just grew. And now she's on national TV calling you a stalker. And after this, you still choose to stay with her? Insane. Because we don't really see any more issues in this drop, but like it makes me worry about what's going to happen in the future. If she get any inkling of something, what is it going to turn into? And if she can't necessarily prove it like to this one, it's like, where is it going to go? Like this turned into a really, really big thing when she literally was just completely wrong and paranoid.
Yep, it's very scary. But it also kind of shows, like, on her point, her perspective, she doesn't have trust. She has trust issues. And it's like, why didn't this get called out in the pod? How didn't y'all get to this, I guess, point in the pods? I feel like there's certain intentional work you need to do in those pods to kind of understand certain things like this. And them not even touching that in the pods is crazy, because, like, I hate to say it, I'm sorry. I feel like one conversation with Taylor, I probably would have realized, okay, she's a little insecure. She's clearly a little untrusting. But in the pods, from what I remember, they didn't talk about shit. They never talked about anything. They just talked about, oh, we both love Christmas. Oh, we both like this. Oh, we both like that. Yeah, and that was it.
A lot of bonding. I swear, didn't they talk about Instagram a little bit? Like she asked, your voice is familiar, or I can't remember.
She asked him, do you use Instagram a lot? And he was like, I don't really use Instagram a lot. And that was it. But I guess it was foreshadowing for this. But yes, it's like they just didn't talk about anything personality.
And that's the thing, now that I know how the process is, it's like the couples that we see who don't get a lot of detail, it's like, so that really means y'all probably weren't talking about shit within that 10-day span. At least that's what I would imagine. Because why, like, for example, Joey and Monica, why is this a couple that we're fully following into marriage if they aren't getting as deep? And I would assume, because we're not seeing it, it's because it's not actually happening. Like, we saw Joey and Monica get engaged like damn near episode 1 or 2, wasn't it? It's like, I feel like clearly there wasn't a lot of footage of them actually creating a bond. But I guess I could be wrong. But yeah,
I got thoughts on Joey and Monica. We'll get there. I got thoughts. Okay. But yeah, Daniel, the Taylor, all of this. And so after this, Taylor basically is like, oh, I mean, I guess not. Oops. And he was like, well, I mean, I still fuck
like, how can she even feel like, oh, let's just keep going forward for this? Like, girl, you like, really fucked up. Like,
this is crazy. But they just go forward and they both agree to it. And I'm like, y'all are stupid already. Automatically chop. They should be divorced or not together. They shouldn't be getting married.
Scaring me, because like I just feel like people ignore red flags in person, but it's so scary to see it happening on television like this. Like, how people will just ignore something that should at least be called into question for a second before you just move forward.
Another thing, because after this, of course, they move forward with the process. They go on the vacation and then they move in together. And through this whole process, no, say they don't have a lot of content, but what I noticed was they're not talking about real shit still. I feel like at this moment, y'all should have, every conversation should be a real ass conversation. What are you going to do for work? What am I going to do for work? Where are we going to live? Are we going to have kids? How are we going to plan this wedding? When are you going to meet my friends and my family? Of course, you're going to meet my family here, but when are you meeting my friends? It's like, they don't have a lot of conversations about the shits at all. I'm like, talk about some real shit. Y'all are getting married and they don't really mention anything. And then the one
Taylor and Garrett did a lot.
That too. They did that a lot. And honestly, even Ramses and Marissa, it took them some time, but last season I remember them getting into some deep conversations on this second drop. It was like by the 7th or 8th episode last season, they were talking about some, okay, wait, hold on. You was in the military. Is that something I feel? All of this, they got into some real shit. These couples ain't doing shit. They're not talking about nothing. They're not learning anything. Y'all are not getting married. Or if y'all do, and that's the thing, I think we might get marriages this season, but I don't think any of them will be successful. No. And I think that's the issue. I think y'all might get married. Like even Daniel and Taylor.
All of these relationships are lacking a foundation. Even the strong one, which I thought it would be Ben and Sara, like the issue that comes later, it's because the foundation isn't strong. And how strong can the foundation be in 10 days? Yeah, would you live in a house that was built in 10 days?
It depends who built it. Did I build it myself? Yes. And I think that's the thing. They built this house. They built this foundation. They know they eat this up. They know they in love.
Maybe they put out a couple twigs and
Oh my
move right in, baby.
God.
Like, no.
Oh my God. But yes. So eventually Taylor and Daniel do meet each other's parents. And I guess I like this. Like I want
No,
people
I
to meet
actually
each other's
love
families.
seeing both of their parents meet. That was cute. I really enjoyed that conversation.
I'm surprised. I don't know if we got that last season. I don't think we did though, because
I feel like
we never got the parents meeting each other. And I think that was very smart of them because I didn't see that. Taylor's parents didn't meet Garrett's parents.
I want to say they did, but I guess not, huh?
They didn't. The parents, well, maybe they did. I could be misremembering, but from what I remember, the couples met each parent, but the parents didn't meet each other. I thought that was very smart. I really, really like that. So I enjoyed that a lot. But yes, so Taylor and Daniel, they meet each other's parents, and then their parents meet each other. And I really enjoyed that. Of course, Taylor's parents were a little bit more hesitant. Her mom made like a comment. Yeah, her mom made a comment. She was like, I just feel like I got left out of the whole process, which she has feelings too. You know, I know it's not her life, and I know it's not whatever, but this was very unconventional. As a parent, I do feel like, well, I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, I do feel like I would be like, I do feel like I would be like, no.
That's thing. As a friend, as a brother, I would be like, no. As a parent, girl, I'm not even showing up to the wedding, bitch. I'm gonna object. Okay, like,
oh my God, that's actually real. That's real. Oh my God. Chanel says they've never had parents meet all together.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly. Somebody said if we heard about Survivor 50. We'll get into that on the Survivor 50 podcast. Or the Survivor 48 podcast. So boom. Their parents meet each other. It was kind of a cute moment. But I also noticed like this is crazy, but I guess we put the real in reality. Like they both come from very comfortable backgrounds, according to the houses. And, you know, the financial situation looks very good. And I do feel like when there's a comfortability growing up, you can kind of do what you want. So I think part of the reason the parents kind of didn't give a fuck is like, I mean, hey, we're rich. We're those niggas. Like, y'all can do what y'all want. Y'all can do what y'all want. Y'all have the freedom to. And I just feel like maybe that's also why they don't have so many different conversations. I remember when Ramses and Marissa were having conversations, it's because Ramses was a bum. He didn't have a job. He didn't have, they had to stress and worry about a lot of particular things. She was going to school. He didn't have a job. They're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do there? Da, 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 da. In a situation like this, no shade, Taylor and Daniel are rich. They look rich to me. So I'm like, they don't have to worry about who's getting a job. They don't have to worry about where are we going to live? How are we going to find a, that's not the stresses that they have. They both seem very well off. So I do feel like maybe that's why those deep conversations aren't happening because shit, what is there to talk about? We're good. We're Gucci. We have an apartment. We have rich parents. We have great support systems. It doesn't seem like they have anything to kind of consider that they might struggle about. And maybe that's why I also want a more diverse type of casting, because there's going to be more struggles with a more diverse type of situation where you can see somebody like last season when we saw with Ramses and Marissa, like this is a nigga without a job. Like, we got to figure some things out. We have to talk about some things. The parents have things to be concerned about. When Daniel's parents met Taylor's parents, they were basically looking in the mirror. There's nothing to be concerned about. Like, there wasn't a conversation to have. There just wasn't like a issue or anything. Because last season, we saw the parents like, hold the fuck on. What is this? Like, who is this? And da-da-da-da. We didn't really get that with them. They were kind of just like, I mean, hey, I know he's going to do good. And I know you're going to do good. And y'all got money. We got money. Like, they didn't say that. And I'm being dramatic. But still, it's just like.
As to how many families are very accepting of it. Like, I that shocks the fuck out of me. That's like I said. That's why I want to see some black family. Because I was like, black people would not have normal reactions to this. Like, at least I would hope not. Because, girl, my reaction would not be normal to this.
Marissa mama was not fucking with it.
She wasn't. That's what I like that. I like that. Because it's like, girl, why? This is not normal.
This is not normal. And I do think it got to be like a not POC thing. Like, because she was a POC, but this season it was only white parents, including Devin. So it's like we only really got to see white parents interacting in this situation. I want to see some POC, some black parents. What are they gonna say? But
even seeing last season, Alex and Tim family, they were very like, oh, okay, this is
they were.
she seems, and I'm just like, girl, that's why I say I don't want I wouldn't want to see Black experiences like with more wealthy families. I want like some middle class,
some urban.
Yeah,
let's see some urban families in this.
Like, come on, like let's see that because they're gonna give it the real. They're gonna give it the real.
So they Daniel ends up asking Taylor's parents for permission to marry her. I thought that was respectful. He's a respectful man. They say yes, and then that's really it for them. Any more thoughts?
Nope.
Are they getting married?
Don't care.
Amen. Next we have Devin and Virginia.
I was done talking about them like 5 minutes ago. I was like, okay, next.
Amen. Real. We have Devin and Virginia, of course. They are also another couple where it's like it was not much content during the vacation. They were just being lovey-dovey during the vacation for sure. It wasn't until they got to living together where they kind of started having certain conversations.
and Virginia, I remember the first time I kept saying, there's something about Virginia that is just so interesting to me, and I cannot put my finger on it. And I kept saying, like, she doesn't seem emotionally invested. She doesn't really seem like expressive. And I feel like we got this in this drop too. A lot of people said she was nervous. She also said she was nervous. And I'm like, girl, you're not nervous. Like, I feel like from Devin's perspective, like he has puppy dog eyes for her, like heart eyes. Like you can literally see it when he looks at her. And I just feel like that energy isn't really there. And then when we got into the drop, I'm like, oh, it's because Virginia is a businesswoman,
a millionaire.
Okay, because she started talking about the prenups and the legal obligations and the paying off the debt. Like, I feel like I'm recognizing the personality types. Like, Devin is very much, oh, I'm in love. I'm a lover boy. I just want to find a wife. I've always wanted a wife. I've always wanted to build this family and this home. That's how he sees it. Virginia sees this as a business deal, a legally binding contract. Okay, that she can use to build her lineage, her family fortune in her name. Okay, because she says that, baby, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I don't know about you, I'm gonna be a millionaire. So we need a prenup. Okay.
Now
and you brings this up throughout all 3 episodes. It seemed like, girl, you wouldn't even be talking about money. Like, oh, I love you so much. She's like, I love that prenup.
And then you saw the preview. She said, so I printed the prenup out. Here you go.
Like, no, she's dead ass. Like, she's not playing.
And so you remember earlier, I was like, there's certain personality types I feel like this show works for, I guess. These are the 2 personality types I feel like it works for. I feel like Virginia, who's a businesswoman, I think she sees marriage as transactional. I do agree with you. I feel like it's more of a transaction, and I feel like
which I don't think is fully wrong with. Like, you need to get your bills in order.
I agree.
You need to get your money in order. Like, I really respect that she cares about that. I just like I don't feel the love to him from her.
And I think that's why it would work for her, because I feel like she would approach this with anybody the same way. I don't think she is that type of vulnerable person at this stage in her life. So I feel like, honestly, any relationship, any marriage situation, it could work as long as she tolerates. Honestly, I feel like all she has to do is tolerate the person, feel like they're a good person. And then with that, we can move forward. I could get married to you. It's fine. And I think
she's easygoing too.
Yes, she's comfortable with doing that. There are people in this world who are not going to be comfortable marrying someone when they don't fully love them. I don't think she needs that. I don't think she needs to fully be heart eyes, puppy eyes in love with anybody. I think whichever husband she ends up getting, she will be content with a situation like this. Also, kind of like, you remember Brittany last season, Brittany and Leo? I feel like they're not the same, but I feel like Brittany, she doesn't need to be in love, puppy dog eyes with the band she's with. She just needs him to give her what she wants. And that's enough for her. And I do feel like people just have different personalities where they don't need that. And I feel like that's something Virginia doesn't need. But I do think Devin needs that. I'm not going to lie.
Because even when he brought up the prenup conversations, he didn't really give much detail on it. Like, I don't think that he necessarily fully, I don't want to say understood. Like, maybe he just wasn't thinking about it. But like I said, with Devin, I just see him as someone that's like, enthralled with her. Like he is not even listening to the words that she's saying. I think he's just like, wow, I love this woman. I want her to be my wife, you know? Because then later when he talks to his family about it, like his sister mentioned, like, yeah, when she brought up the prenup thing, I was like, And he was like, well, I felt iffy about it too, but you know, we really just want to make sure that we go into a situation where, you know, everyone leaves with what they came in with. Like it's not really a big deal. And I'm just like, you're just repeating exactly what she told you, huh? That's exactly what she told you. And then when he was talking to his family, he said one thing about how, like, yeah, like she just mapped it all out for us, how we're gonna be watching our kids playing sports and she's gonna be right there on my arm. Like, I feel like what's interesting about them is that they both want a marriage. They both, I feel like it's something they both always wanted, but their approach is so different. Like he is just like, he wants family the love from it, the family orientation of it, the provider of it all. And I think from her perspective, it's very much like, I have a dream. I've had this dream for years.
A goal
that I want to be when I'm in my 50s, 30-something years from now. I want to have this. I want to have this. I want to have this. I want to have this much money. I want to have this many kids. I want them in sports. I want my man to be there and support me in it. And I feel like that is kind of like the biggest disconnect, because while they both want the marriage, I feel like they approach it from different ways, and I don't think that's gonna last.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with everything you said, and I think these two personality types can work on Love Is Blind if they find the right person who has the same personality type. If Devin found another lover girl who kind of felt the same way as him, I think it would have worked. If Virginia would have found another man who was more so like, this is my goal, this is kind of what I want to do moving forward, it could have worked. I just feel like them for each other, it might be a disconnect with the romantic part of it all. I think Devin wants to, every moment he wants it to be like, oh, look at us. We're just walking on the beach in the sand and this is us. Like even when they were on the beach in during the vacation, he was like, this moment, it just makes me feel real good. You know, the word I have for us, easy. It just all feels easy and da 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 da. Like he's really like Drake coded. Like he really is a mixed nigga. Like that's what he is. Like he likes it. Like he's just like, yeah,
certified lover boy.
He's a certified lover boy. And Virginia was like, yeah, easy. It's easy, like, ain't it? Like,
Virginia don't be saying shit for real. Like, Virginia gives me very much definitely be like, I love you so much. She'd be like,
you do.
I know. And like, I can see that because right now, I think he has these puppy dog eyes. So like, anything she says or do, like, he's providing enough love for both of them. And maybe he can continue to do that. And also, I mean, like I said, we don't really know these people. We don't really see everything they talk about. So she really could be way more emotionally invested than I'm reading. But if she's not, I think at some point he's going to be like, well, girl, where's the reciprocation?
Yeah, I think he's going to need that love back. I think he needs a lot of love. Like, I think he gives a lot of love, but I also feel like he wants it all back. Because we saw in the preview, he's talking to, the fuck is that girl name?
Don't know the black
girl. Do start with
a
B?
I forgot her name. Oh my God, we want to hell if I forget her name.
I think what it be?
Was it? It wasn't Brittany, was it?
I thought it was Brittany too. Is it Brittany?
I feel like it's
Brittany. It is Brittany.
Diva.
I think it's Brittany. Anyways, when he was talking to her, he was like, Brittany. Yeah, it is Brittany. When he was talking to Brittany, he was like, yeah, I don't know. It just feels so good talking to you right now in the preview. And it's like, yeah, because Brittany can reciprocate a lot of emotion.
Yeah, boom. That is literally it. That's literally it. We said this though in the first drop, like, she was the one really connecting with you, and Virginia was just, you know what I mean? It's like, girl, what you needed was with Brittany. That's why you kept.
He tricked himself.
He didn't trick himself. He got scared because of the whole bisexual thing.
That's true.
And then he was like, well, I'm leaving here with something. So he left because he just said to his family he wants to be married. He was leaving there with something regardless.
That's true. That's tea. I just feel like he's convincing himself that the energy he's giving Virginia, I think he's convincing himself she's giving it back. And I don't think she is. Nope. I think he's just doing it all himself. And he's like, oh my God, we love each other so much. You love her a lot. Or you giving her a lot of love. Very, very
she's just very pragmatic. And I think like, and I hear what she's saying about the prenup. I definitely understand it. I feel like, well, no, I was thinking about my position. Like, it's not something I ever thought about because I mean, I don't have dreams of becoming this multimillionaire. And like, I don't see myself getting with someone that is also some multimillionaire that will make me want to sign a prenup. Like, that's not something like I feel like is on my mind. And from like seeing their situation, you know, she didn't say she's a millionaire now. He's not a millionaire now. So it's interesting that she is concerned about a prenup, but hey, she got goals. Mama got
I do
goals.
agree.
But like, for example, I think a lot of people say the reason why they don't like bringing up prenups is because are you preparing for a divorce? And that's negative. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you think it is because you even think about a prenup? Are you thinking about us one day not being married? Because, like I said, now that I have kind of came to this realization with Virginia, I kind of feel like that is why she's doing it. Like, I don't think she necessarily thinks this is going to last. I think she's thinking, well, we're going to make money together. And when we not together, I'm keeping my money.
I think there's two different types of people who look at it. I think there is like the anxious person who does feel like this could easily end in divorce, and that's why you need to prepare. And I think there's the prepared person. I think Virginia is more the prepared person, if you ask me. I think she's just more, I want everything organized. I want my ducks in a row. Because when she was talking to the family, she giggled and she was like, I don't know why everyone doesn't have a prenup.
You're like, okay, how does it, because I really don't even know how a prenup fucking work. Like, so when you get married, all of the funds that you have before marriage is yours after.
Correct. And every prenup is different. It's like you can write it up or you can organize it however you want. But for example, you could have a prenup where it's like when you get married, everything that you had before is yours. And when you get divorced, it is going to be 50-50 equally split between the two of you. Or it could be, since I'm rich and famous because I'm Angela Bassett and you're a random person, now it's I get 80%.
Angela Bassett, what's the reference?
I get 80%, you get 20%. Yeah. Or if it's like Sam and Britney Spears, where Britney Spears had to give him a stipend, damn near every motherfucking month due to the marriage. That's that prenup. Okay. Terrible one.
I was thinking like, depends. How much money she got right now, low key? Like, she already got a couple $100,000 in the bank somewhere. Because I just love how by the book it was. And like, I don't want to give this true because we always say we want these couples to have these serious conversations, but I also want the split side of them actually falling in love. Like, I think Taylor and Garrett, that's the only example we have, y'all. They were the perfect balance of that, where it's like they were pragmatic, they were having these important conversations, but then they will also have lovey-dovey. Like, I feel like with Virginia and Devin, he'd be like, yeah, I want to have kids. I just want to love you. And she'll be like, So yeah, we'll be able to pay each other's debts. You know, I'm willing to help you if you need it. Like, I don't think it's a problem. Like, I can give you money here and there. Like, she's very much like, let's focus on this money, honey.
Y'all, I don't know who Angela Bassett married to for real. I'm sorry, because they were like, she's also married to someone very rich. I don't know that man. I was just
honestly, I didn't even know she was married for real. A woman like Angela Bassett, I'm just thinking like, you just a powerful.
Angela Bassett don't have a husband.
You married to yourself, okay? Like, you know, like,
girl, boo. But yes, would I get a prenup? Did you ask me that? You did.
Yeah, would you?
I would, but I do not. I
know her husband. So I just Googled him. I'm sorry.
Let me Google. What he look like? Well, he was on.
He was in, like, he just looks familiar. He's in a lot of black stuff, but his face, I'm like, I've seen this man before.
Now I want to look it up. Goddamn.
Let It Shine. He played Tyler James Williams' daddy, the preacher, and Let It Shine. That's where I know him from.
LOL. What the fuck?
That is crazy. Deep cut.
And it ain't no shade.
What? Angela Bassett could do better?
No. No, I was just gonna say, like, me saying Angela Bassett not married to nobody famous. Did I lie?
Don't do it.
You were Tyler James Williams' dad on Let It Shine, sir.
He in a bunch of other stuff.
He in Grotesquerie. I seen that. He's
Lovecraft County.
He gonna be in Little and Stitch, the live action. Who he gonna play? He'll probably play the bodyguard, right?
I don't know.
He is. He playing Bubbles.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is funny. So, anyways, I'm gonna get a prenup, but
Angela Bassett side segue.
I do real. I hate the idea. I don't like the idea of like I guess preparing for a divorce, but I don't because I'm not thinking about actually planning for a divorce. I don't mind the prenup. I feel like people who are worried about the idea of planning for a divorce would be worried about getting one because they're worried that they might get a divorce. I'm genuinely just not worried about it. So I'm like, okay, I don't care. We can get a prenup. We don't need to get a prenup. It is what it is. I think because I'm going to be rich, because I am rich and wealthy and abundance is upon me, that I would need a prenup to be, a smart person.
Yeah, because we don't need nobody taking 90% of the reality kingdom.
Amen. Because when you have businesses, you need a prenup because with the prenup, everything earned from your business will go to the person whose business it is, even if y'all are splitting everything else 50-50, not the business. So it's like stuff like that in the prenup would be very good. Yes, but also divorce is very expensive, which is why Sam was able to get some of Brittany's money, is because the idea of divorcing someone is expensive because you're going from double your income basically to half. So yeah.
Has this been like this since the beginning of the time with marriage? Like, why is it so like legally binding? Like, why do you have to go to a court office? Why does it have to be legally recognized by the government? Like, why does it cost money to be divorced? Like, that never made sense to me. Like, is it not just a piece of paper?
The legally binding part is for like health. Like, if you're dying, who has the authority to declare your death? Your wife?
Like, why does that need to be legally binded? Can I just say I want this person to do it?
I mean, maybe you can, but even that is a legally bound contract. You would have to go get a contract that says this is your power of attorney or something like that. And
I don't understand like why it takes so many, like, even like especially with divorce. You have to jump through so many hoops. You have to get a divorce lawyer, which costs money. Like, why can't I just say we're not like that? Well, the money, the money part of it, because there's probably a lot of situations where the person's trying to take all the money. I guess that part makes sense. Yeah. So
I think like deciding to sharing your life with someone in such a way like marriage, it becomes too legally involved because of, like I said, health issues, financial situations, who owns what. Both of your names are on the insurance, on the title, on the dot, on the house. So then it's like
money.
So like if you do break up,
if you have hella money, like while legally, like you need to like handle that.
Yeah, broke people. I mean, you don't got to. But honestly, my parents are married, and I remember I asked them. I was like, "Where's the wedding pictures?" And they was like, "Have you ever seen any wedding pictures?" And I was like, "No." And it was like, "Right." And I was like, "Oh." Y'all just got the paper, huh? So yes, I think it's just for certain people, it's just not that big of a thing, or maybe it can't be that big of a thing. So for certain people, I think what you're saying, it works. Like just live with them. But then again, no shade. A lot of I do give a lot of shame to some of the girls who are like, "Yeah, I live with my man, me and my man, we live together, we have our house," and I'm like, "And he ain't got a ring? You got 5 kids and no ring?" So I do feel like there's also this like, shame that people do have towards it, including me. Like I do be looking at people's eyes, you ain't got no ring, you got 6 kids.
I feel like that's how I kind of feel. Like it's interesting, like the importance put on some things and not the other. Like I feel like, especially in this day and age, having a baby, everybody named mama just willing to have a baby. Like, and I'm just like, people do it as if it's like fucking candy at this point, just popping them out. They don't care about their situation. They don't care if the man wanted it or not. They don't care if they married. They don't care how much money they got. They're just popping them out. And I'm just like, so that's not important. But then the conversation on marriage is, I don't want to get married. I don't know. Like a baby is a way bigger commitment than a marriage, or at least it should be. But that'd be the motherfucking problem. People don't see babies as humans. They see babies as accessories and things just to fucking have.
That's a bike to them sometimes.
Or to stay connected to somebody that they know they shouldn't be connected with.
Yeah, it gets very toxic. Honestly, the conversation, it's scary because it gets very, very toxic when it comes to,
and I don't think you should be married but having a baby. But like if y'all together for like more than 5 years, you got more than one kid, why not just get married? I mean, at least propose.
Yeah. I don't even understand. I'm gonna be frank. Like, I don't understand people being together for more than 5 years and not living together, not being honestly on the way to marriage. Why are you with someone for 5 fucking years plus? And like, what now? Like, why? I don't personally, I can't speak.
Well, maybe they're like Tom Sandoval and Ariana. We're life partners,
and that's and look where that went.
We don't need the contracts and the kids to prove that we're life partners.
And look where that went. I don't understand it unless you're young or like y'all are both young and you guys are in school or something like that. I guess it's situational. But if you're like, past the school stage of your life and you've been with someone for 5-6 years, what the fuck are y'all doing? Right? Like get married and not get married just to have the paper, but bind yourselves in some type of way other than just get the baby. No shade.
That is the scary thing. Is because like literally like this comment, if people thought the same way about kids, we have way less messed up adults. Like if people thought about marriage the same way they see kids, y'all wouldn't be having them all willy-nilly. And that's what's scary is because y'all are creating so many broken homes that way. Like even celebrities like Halle and DDG. Love me some Halle Bailey. That's my mama. Right? She had his baby. You know, a lot of people was dragging her because she wasn't married. Like I said, I don't really care because like they're a young couple. They haven't been together for that long. This is one kid. You know, they still have time. But them breaking up right when she had the baby, I'm like, yeah, y'all are both wealthy. Yeah, y'all both have money. He's gonna grow up well. But that is a broken home. Like no matter which way you put it, that's a broken home. Or how we talked about Nick Cannon earlier, him, you know, laying his seeds with multiple women. You're creating multiple broken homes. No matter how much money you give them, toys, things that you can give them, this isn't a complete home. You know what I mean? And people are just willing to pop out these children and give them no guidance. And then we see what happens.
And then you know what? That actually wraps back around to why certain people stay in marriages, because some people do stay in marriages they aren't comfortable with. What a lot of women do this because of the kids. And they're like, well, these are the kids. We can't leave for the kids. I mean, the kids, until the kids are grown or a little bit older is when they feel more comfortable. And they're like, you know what? Maybe I could leave this situation. And then the kids are confused. They're like, why you didn't leave a long time ago? And it's like, girl, because, you know, I wanted you to have your dad and you to be. And it's like, ooh, that's still not good. And it's like, it's so many layers to it. It's so many layers to it because you shouldn't stay because of this situation. It's a lot.
And I gotta see this, T-Friend. Historically, in my opinion, historically and societally, it's like divorce is made hard on purpose so that women cannot lead a relationship with ease, keeping women for their labor, money, body, babies. I definitely see that. I feel like that makes a lot of sense as well. Because I could definitely see how in the time period, especially when women were not allowed to do anything. You know, a girl, they were getting married at 12 years old and basically fucking being locked up all day to make babies and clean. So that definitely makes a lot of sense too. I wouldn't be surprised.
You know what else? I saw this. There was this TikTok video of this lady who she was in a DV situation and she was trying to leave the DV situation legally, legally unmarry the person, legally get her kids. It was so hard. And she talked about how difficult it was to get her kids away from this man who was literally beating her.
Because the system does not help these fucking people. And that's what pisses me off. Like, I've seen so many stories and true crime shit on TikTok where it's like the woman literally called the police several times about this man beating her ass and her kids too. And a year later, they're all dead and we don't know what the fuck happened.
Oh, how'd they die?
Like I saw a situation where literally the man was so abusive that they had to take the kids away. And it was a situation where they made the kids visit him on like a monthly basis or whatever, even though he's been locked up for abuse and all this other crazy shit. The kids went over to his house and he killed them all, and including himself. And it's like, well, there's a history. Why are we not like it's so crazy how the system just allows this shit to happen. And that's what kills me about how many people in this country that claim to be pro-life and against abortion, yet there are so many kids that are born every fucking day in situations that they're not going to succeed in, and nobody gives a fuck about them. But we all give a fuck about the goddamn speck in the baby in the goddamn body. Like, I just don't get it.
It sucks because the law, like all of these laws that are preventing situations like this from women getting away from DV, honestly, it doesn't even matter because it goes all different ways. Sometimes men are in domestic situations. They still can't get away because the laws were built up on this patriarchal society where all of the laws are to help. Honestly, this negative ass patriarchal ass situation, the father still gets to see the kids, or the man still gets this part of the marriage, or you can't leave him legally. It's so many different stuff legally with the laws that are preventing so many different people and so many different minority groups. And that's why voting is important. And that's why it's important to go get in the motherfucking booths and vote for your delegates and vote for your representatives, because laws like this are getting stripped away today.
By that man. So scary. Like, you know, like I remember reading somewhere a while back, like as a country, America follows like the oldest like constitution. Like our set of laws from the Constitution is like one of the oldest documents that any country follows.
Is the oldest.
And it's like that was created like in 1800s. Like slavery wasn't legal. Women couldn't have their own rights. And it's crazy how many laws that were created during those time periods, during slavery, during the civil rights era, during the women's suffrage era, that are still in place today. And it's like, I think that's why we're still regressing as a country, because there are so many people here that is attached to these old ass rules that apply to a situation that's not relevant anymore. We're in 2025. Shit that was legal in the goddamn 1800s should not be relevant to this day.
Literally,
you know what I mean?
Centuries ago.
A constitution that was created when most of the people in the country were not even allowed to speak on their own, shouldn't be used to justify shit that's happening in 2025. And I think that is what a lot of people's, ignorance to like progression is coming from. Like, these are rules. This is how it's supposed to be. No, the shit is meant to change.
Amen.
But y'all,
very unfortunate.
A whole segue.
Mind you, Devin and Virginia right here. I don't know what we was talking about, but
these podcasts be fun because we get into anything on the other podcast. The non-strategy podcast, girl, we get into whatever, girl. We be having whole ass discussions.
Amen. Joey and Monica.
I'm bored.
I have a hot take. My hot take is this could work. I think this could work, and the reason is neither of them require much. I from what I've seen, I don't think either of them really have much requirements. I don't know how else to say it. They just seemed very content and happy and just la 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 la.
I remember I wrote down in the first drop, like, it gives 2 golden retrievers. Like, they're so happy about the experiment. They love each other so much. Like, and it's cute. It's definitely cute. But to me, it gives puppy dog love. It gives high school love. It gives, oh my God, we're high school sweethearts. And we just met. And, we're going to go to prom together. And it's going to be, I don't feel any depth in their relationship. Do I think they're going to get married? I can see it. But like, it kind of goes back to that foundation thing we were talking about earlier. I don't think that's a strong one. However, both of them read to me, this is enough for them. Like,
that's what I feel.
What they're putting on the screen, from what I'm perceiving, what they give to each other is enough. And if that's enough for them, girl, hey.
I think it's enough. And I think they can be happy this way. I don't think they require depth. And there's just people like that out there. Surprisingly, there are just people out there like that who don't need deep connections, or their depth is different because he has opened up to her about his OCD. She kind of talks to him about that. And what I like about their relationship so far, it's like, I feel like because they don't need too much, whenever something is brought up, there's a lot of attention that can be given towards it because he has brought up his OCD. That's like the one thing they've talked about. And I noticed at random moments, Monica will be like, oh, is that because of your OCD? Or she'll mention it again because she understood this one moment about him, this one thing, and she's able to give a lot of attention to it because, no shade, they haven't talked about shit else. So she can really like focus in on stuff like that. But I just feel like it'll work because they don't need much. I think they're fine. I think Joey's fine with Monica just la 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 line, and Monica's fine with Joey la 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 line. And when there's something important, if they talk about it one time, they could probably give a lot of attention to it because they don't talk about anything else.
Yeah.
And it's no shade.
I can really see a world in which they don't have any problems unless Joey is secretly evil.
Yeah.
Monica secretly, I don't know, crazy somewhere. Yeah. Like, but I haven't gotten any of that unless they're just both great actors. Then
that's what Monica's sister said.
Monica's sister did say that. Girl, no shade. Nicole was giving bitter down. Let's get into that because that's really the most interesting thing about them.
Okay, no. Before we get into it, while we get into it, I wanted to say the reason I do feel like it really is just them, or it could really just be them, because Monica's family is just as kooky as her, just as golden retriever as her.
Very much. Yep.
And Joey fit right in. He fit right.
I want to see his family just to see if it's on both ends. Because if his family the exact same way, girl,
they got it.
This is giving a real love, bitch. This is giving that sitcom, that white parent sitcom love. Yep. Like this, I don't know. Like I can see it. it.
But yes, he goes to meet her family. Oh my God, they are a hoot and a holler. I don't know what to call them.
Girl, it's to me, it's like one of those like old white comedies or sitcoms where they go.
Or they should be on like TLC. They should be like on TLC. What was her name? Very, very cute girl, blonde hair, Honey Boo Boo. It gave Honey Boo Boo family, like very just boondocky ass white, and we got a sock bucket. That's what that was. It was like, okay, y'all are very over there.
It was so like interesting. I feel like I always see those family dynamics as really, really interesting. Like when it's like, and I feel like I only saw that on like TV. Yeah. With white families in reality and like comedy and movies, where like you'll go into a house and like hella people live in there and they're like all really like close and communal with each other. They share a goddamn sock bucket. Because I know from my experiences, like I don't have like this close relationship with like the large scope of my family. And I don't think that's a black thing, because I know a lot of black families who do give family reunions and they catch up. But I know my personal experience, like I'm not close with anyone outside of my immediate family. And I feel like on media, we at least don't get that anymore. You know, back in the day, we'd have like the Huxtables, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like those type of representations. But I feel like we don't necessarily get that on TV anymore.
I agree. There was this when I was younger, across the street from me, because I kind of live in the country growing up, no shade. And across the street from me, there was like this white family, and there was this little white boy, and I was friends with him. I was real cool with him. So during like the holidays, he would come visit his grandparents are who lived by me. And he and the rest of his family would all come and go visit his grandparents. And I would go over their house during that moment. And when I tell you, I was like, why can't we be like this? Because they were so just comfortable with each other. I felt like everybody in the room could just be themselves. And there are times, no shade, where I'm with my extended family. I'm like, ooh, let me not be a little too gay over here, you know. But with them, and not saying that they don't have those same type of problems, they might. But it just felt like they were able to just be themselves and just be their personalities over there, and they were all really sock buckety over there too. But it was just so fun. It just feels freeing. And honestly, seeing Monica and her family, I was like, this is fun. Y'all just dance together.
And I think that is like you kind of hit the nail on the head of what I was trying to express. Because I feel like in my personal situation, like when I have been around extended family, literally that it's like I've had to act a certain way. I couldn't express myself in certain ways because talking to a girl cousin was seen as gay. You know, laughing
getting
too hard
too
was
excited,
gay. Getting too excited, doing anything but not wanting to watch sports was gay. So it's like you have to like not be your true self around your family. And the only family I've ever felt comfortable being my true self around was my immediate family, which is literally just my sister and my mama, not even my dad included. And it's like, I know a lot of other queer gay people, especially Black, have had that experience. So I think maybe that's the experience I'm coming from, because I do know there are situations with the Black community where their entire family is really close with each other. It's just not an experience that I had the luxury of getting.
Yeah. And I do feel like I do feel like that is something that I don't know, because I'm not white and I'm not a white gay, but I do feel like with white gays, it's a little bit different with the stigmas, because I do think there's still white families who have very ignorant views about being gay and homosexuality in the LGBTQ community. But I feel like some of the critiques white people get aren't the same as the ones as Black people. I know little white kids. White kids can have fun and be happy and kind of like laugh and giggle and be excited and jump around and da 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 da. A lot of the times, in my experience and other Black gay people experience who I've talked to, they cannot even be happy damn near. They can't be
very toxic.
You can't be too expressive is the word.
The only emotion is anger or
neutral. Neutral. And I feel like with
what was that video of the girl talking to her infant boy baby saying, stop crying, you're not a girl.
Yep.
So babies, is it gay to cry? Like, I'm confused. Like,
yes, and I feel like with white children, they're not shamed for being expressive. Even if they're shamed for being gay, they're not necessarily shamed for being expressive. And I do feel like even when watching drag, there's times where I'm like, this white person had seemed like he had a lot more freedom to be himself sometimes. And it's an issue. And of course, it's not one-to-one. It's not every experience. But in general, I just feel like it's way more easy to be expressive with a lot of the white community. But that comes from, bitch, white people have had way more time to grow as society, as family units, as all of this. The Black family unit has been broken for years due to slavery since we got here. So it's like there is no family unit to have foundation on. So yes, it's
and I think it also just stems from toxic masculinity as well. And like basically any race that is dealing with toxic masculinity, you're gonna get that outcome. But I just think toxic masculinity, specifically with the Black community, is really, really rampant. It truly is, because like it's just really bad. It's just really bad.
Yeah. Lee, we done got into a conversation on every single person.
About something else.
This is shout out to Love is Blind, because no shade, you know, the podcast has been fun. This episode was the episode fun? I don't know, but anyway,
we're not talking about the episode, girl. We're talking about
and I think maybe we need to use these for our personal podcast. How you're doing? but yes, Monica ends up having a conversation with her sister Nicole. Nicole and her go outside after they meet Joey. They have a fun time and they're having this conversation. And Nicole is like, well, and at first I thought I understood Nicole, because at first she was like, well, girl, is this even your type? Like, is this even the type of person you go for?
I thought Nicole was giving very much my energy, how I said I would have been. Like, okay, girl, I'm side-eyeing. But then that hater that hater jumped out today, okay? Because it just got really weird. She was like, and Monica was explaining, like, we're here for a reason. We've been in lockstep since the beginning. Everything has felt right. It's been great. And Nicole's just like, I mean, I just didn't think you would be the one to get married first in the family.
Yeah, I'm 5 years older.
I just feel like I should have been the first to do it.
What?
Huh? What are we talking about here?
And that screams, bitch, you're taking my shine away. I'm the first girl who's getting married and having a wedding. You mean you're gonna have a wedding before?
Mind you 5 years earlier, so older. So you have 5 years to do it. Like, girl, if I had to wait for you, none of us would be getting married. Sound like
it's just a crazy concept to even think of. Like, I can't imagine if I got married and my sister, and she might say some shit like this. Maybe not out of jealousy, but maybe it is jealousy. But yeah, like, I would be damned if my sister was like, I'm supposed to be married before you. Well, why you didn't do
that
it?
Was the most random statement, the most irrelevant statement. Girl, what the fuck does that mean? And then she was like, my only worry is you get engaged, you get married, and then you get a divorce. It's like, oh my God.
And that's how Monica was like, wait. But I feel like, and that's the thing, I hate that it came from her, because I do enjoy when they get real with them. I feel like you do need to have these real hard conversations with them. But coming from her, I feel like Monica was just like, this bitch jealous and left. And it's like, she is. But also, some of the things she's saying is valid. Like, your family might be a little too golden retriever. You do need to consider the fact that, do you really like this man for the rest of your life? Could you get a divorce? And like Monica not even wanting to hear the word divorce kind of made, it's kind of an issue, because it's like, girl, you might get one. You might need one. So there are moments of this that should be taken into consideration, but it kind of feel like none of it is because you're jealous.
Yeah, and then also like the conversation later with Joey, because she basically brings it up, and not to be too woke. I love that one meme, that friend that's too woke.
Yes.
Not to be that friend that's too woke, but like I felt slightly like, is this slightly manipulative? Because only because like when she brought up the sister thing, and the reason why I would say it's not manipulative is because Nicole is actually a hater. But she was talking about it, and he was like, I mean, does she like any of your friends? Does she like anyone you ever run?
That did feel weird.
Not really. And she was like, well, maybe she's just jealous. And that's just her not, being upset about it. Like Monica didn't really say anything, because like she like clocked it as well. But I was like, I don't know, because kind of what you said, like she's trying to actually be helpful, is just kind of also included with her being a hater.
Yeah.
And I didn't like how he fully basically dismissed her concern.
I felt the same way.
I don't think her concern came from a fully hater standpoint, but she is a hater.
She just is a hater. No, I felt the same way watching. The only thing that saved it was at the end. He was like, if my sister told me she didn't want me to marry you, I wouldn't do it. So I do feel like y'all need to have a conversation. And that saved it for me, because he told her to have a conversation. She was like, y'all need to have a conversation too. And he was like, she was like, they want them to be together. But I was like, maybe he's not just manipulated, because I felt the same way.
Yeah. It just gets scary when it's like, I'm going to use this thing. I'm going to use this thing to like absolve me of all issues, which I don't have an issue. He's not really doing anything wrong. It's just like, her concerns are valid. I do not know you.
Yep. Real. I just want her. I don't know. I wish her parents maybe said it, because it's good message, wrong. What's it called? Right message, wrong horse. Whatever it is. Yeah. Wrong bitch to say it. Shut up. So I wish her parents would have said it. Whatever. Yeah. But
honestly, no. He doesn't seem like a bad dude though, which is another reason why I kind of was like, I don't think it's fully manipulative, only because like he hasn't really shown any. Issues.
He also said she asked him, how did you feel about my family? He was like, your mom, I love your mom, thinks she likes me, dad thinks she likes me, but I don't think your sister likes me. And it made me feel like there was more we saw throughout, because from the clips we saw, I don't see how he would have knew her sister didn't like him, because from the clips we saw, they were dancing, they were laughing, they were giggling, they were joking. So there must have been a longer time he was with her where it was very clear she did not like him. And I think those instances maybe made him feel like, okay, this bitch is not even giving me a chance.
Yeah, because she probably was literally not even talking to him, like making a stank face. But that's how I would be. Very much, who is this bitch?
That's real.
Oh, it is wrong messenger. Wait, so what's the horse quote?
Right, wrong. The right message, wrong messenger doesn't even sound right. I'm sorry, y'all. Is that it?
What's the horse quote that I'm thinking of?
I think there's a horse one too, right? I know you can't lead a horse to water.
I know that one. Was I thinking of that when they mixed it?
No.
Ciao.
We're going to Ben and Sara. Now this was the people. These was who I thought was actually going to make it.
Yes, I thought they were the real lovers.
And they seem like they got the most. Don't look a
one?
gift. What? Don't look a gift.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I ain't never heard
made that up, girl.
Straight from the horse's mouth. Maybe that's what I thought.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Oh.
Why we both trying to put it out? I'm sorry. Straight from the horse's. That don't even sound right.
I feel like, cause in my mind I thought it was right message, wrong horse for some reason.
That sounds right though to me.
Ciao. Ben and Sara.
Ben and Sara. I thought they were gonna get together mostly because they're the only ones who I feel like had a real conversation, even though it was through Sara pressing him multiple times. But sometimes that's enough. I feel like, oh, and I wanted to say this. Having requirements of a person strengthens the bond.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the other couples haven't required anything from each other in a stern way. So their bonds didn't feel strong to me. But Sara requiring him to, challenging him to be basically a good person, is a requirement. And I feel like it strengthens the bond because it's like, look, I'm challenging you to do this. You have to decide to stick with me because I'm challenging you to do this. And that kind of strengthens bonds. That's what I've noticed. Like even me, when I got in my last relationship, I was like, well, you're going to need to learn this. You need to do this, and this. And then we can kind of see where we can go, because I feel like requiring things from each other is what really bonds people, because now you're choosing me. You have to choose.
That makes sense. I think that's a lot of people's issues going into a relationship as well. They're not expecting anything. So when they get bullshit, they're like, oh, okay.
Yep. You should
think they're going to get you anything anyway.
You should give expectations. And I feel like it seems counterintuitive, because I think with romance, people think it should be, oh, well, we should just naturally and da 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 da. But no, for a real relationship to have real structure, you should require them to do something, or you should have a standard. And having that standard means they have to meet it, which means they're actively working for your love rather than just being in it and then you giving it to them. But anyways, so I felt like they had a strong foundation, or the strongest of the five, but it just went away, child. They were doing real good at first on the vacation. And then they started moving in together. They were doing good there. They did good the whole time until the end.
Literally.
Actually, there was a moment where Sara meets Ben's friends. And this is what I noticed about his friend group. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he chose those specific 5 friends, but he had a Latino, he had a Asian girl, and he had a lesbian.
And they all gave LGBT.
I was like, wait a fucking minute. You called your gay group chat.
Yeah.
Or you called your diverse group chat. What I will say is,
he had to let her know, mama. Yeah.
I will say shout out to him, because they knew him.
They did. They gave like close friends.
Yes. So I'll give him that. Maybe he was right. Maybe when he said, I do think I agree with everything you're saying, I just don't really invest my time in that. I think I believe him, because he's friends with the gays.
Look,
so
he got all of his good DEI friends and made sure they got down on the I would like to believe maybe this is like the crowd he hangs around, but it was a very much diverse group. Like, girl, it was like a 2025 reboot of a movie. Like, girl, it was crazy.
It was very crazy. They seemed comfortable. They seemed very comfortable. If this was his friend. So I was like, wow, you probably just actually. But that honestly pisses me off a little more. Why the fuck didn't you vote when you have a lesbian friend, Asian friend, a Latino friend? You should have been the main one in the booth, bitch.
Stupid.
Get up in the booth and beat the motherfucking beat up. Anyways, so yes, she meets them. Of course, she's having a hoot and a holler because they the gays. She loved the gays. Boom.
Yes, literally. When I was taking the notes, I wrote that it was her friends.
Yes,
I'm like, these like it would be her friends. No, this was Ben's friends.
She was bonding, honey. Period.
Gagged.
So then we get the big situation. Because they had such a seamless
mind you, for 3 episodes. This is the last like 5 to 6 minutes of the episode of the last drop.
So Sarah's on TikTok and she's like, "Girl, this is such a funny. Let me tell you about this TikTok. It was this girl on TikTok. She was like, yeah, this show. And she doesn't name the show, honey. She can't name the show. But she's like, yes, this show. I just hate that this show gets men on there who've treated women so badly and they've done them dirty and they're putting this pedestal for these type of men. And isn't that so funny? I wonder who they talking about. And Ben was like, yeah, I saw that.
I think so she's funny for bringing it up like that. Like, oh yeah, I was just on TikTok, and
I think she was like, could this be him? Let me bring this up for sure, just in case. And then he was like, yeah, I think she's talking about me, and it was so sad because honestly, my heart dropped. I was like, no. Why is there always a problem? No.
And then it didn't go good from there because he was like, oh yeah, but like I haven't talked to her in over 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she well, why would you do this?
And I love Sara because Sara she's gonna put it on the floor. She said, well, why would she record a video you hadn't talked to her? He was like, honestly, I don't know. I don't even know that girl that much.
I don't even remember me. And she was like,
we didn't even date. She was like, how don't you remember that? I don't understand why you don't remember. He was like, well, we didn't really date. We just kind of hung out a few times and da da da. And she was like, I don't like that you don't remember. I don't like that you don't remember. And he was like, yeah, I mean, it just wasn't a lot going on to where, you know, that we didn't have anything. She's weird. I don't understand why she did that. And Sara was like, I remember my relationship for 4 years ago. So why don't you? And he was like, it just wasn't a lie. She was like, he was like, we didn't do much talking. And then I ghosted her. She's like, if you ghosted her, why is she crying? She's questioning everything, honey.
I mean, he's clearly hiding something. Like,
he's lying.
And I think I'm not gonna put it past the girl being crazy in a cloud chaser because she could be a crazy cloud chaser. It feels like more. Like more is there. And I will say because the chat is talking about the TikToks. I don't know why I didn't think about
going to look.
There were actual TikToks.
I same.
So the fact that like I'm like, oh damn, I feel stupid. Like these probably actually out there. So now let me go try to find them.
Yeah,
I want to see him.
I just feel like for me personally, his response was very suspicious. You remember her, you know her, you have some type of detail you can give me about the situation. And even, you know what, even if he didn't remember, if you were an active person, if you were like actively trying to clear your name and you didn't do anything wrong, you would have been like, honestly, I don't even remember her because this, and back in the day. And she had to pry that information out of him. She had to keep asking questions before he even told her he don't remember her, before he even told her it was a fling. You should just be open and honest. As soon as first of all, you saw the TikTok before she saw the TikTok and didn't say anything.
He knew about the creator.
You didn't say anything. You should have I would have saw that TikTok. I would have went to my partner and I would have been like, girl, let me show you this TikTok. Boom. She gonna watch it. I'm gonna be like, look, this was my ex. I talked to or this was a girl I talked to 4 years ago about this, and this. We didn't even do nothing. The girl has been crazy since she's been stalking me since. I'm so sorry. I don't want this to ruin anything. All of that. He was not actively giving up anything. She had to ask him. Come on now, King. You're a liar.
There's some girl named Andra's allegations. Yeah, I definitely think more went down. Because it would just be random if she's calling him out for no reason. You know what I mean? Like something more maybe happened. I just don't know. I feel like it's kind of similar to the Lauren and Dave situation. Like this happened before. So like, you know, because people are cloud chasers. People are just messy like that. Yeah. But I don't know. It feels icky. It feels icky that this is coming out now.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
And I appreciate Sara because she said, look, I'm going to trust you and I'm going to believe you. But if any other thing comes out about this and you don't tell me right now, I can no longer trust you and I'm leaving. And that's on period.
Oh my God. I found the video and Mama is literally breaking down.
She's in tears?
Yes.
And they will do anything to get what they want and to get attention. And I get that is like the whole point of reality television. And that's the reason they're on that show, right? To make good entertainment. But maybe we can just not reward people who are like that, who have
Girl, Ben, what you do to Andra?
No, but
oh, she's Minnesota and she got the LGBT flag in her bio. Yeah, he was definitely with her.
I know that's right. But maybe maybe he did something to her and she's like, we shouldn't put people like that on TV because he did something to me. Like maybe he cheated on her or something.
I don't know why. I guess she couldn't go into detail. But
this is a bad morning for the women here in Minneapolis as we had to wake up and see some of the
child.
Like maybe he like cheated on her or did something dirty to her and she just feels like he shouldn't get a platform for after being that type of bad person. Yeah. Which I guess from Sarah's perspective is like, she cheated on you, but not me. But if he's a cheater, he's probably gonna be a cheater. Yeah. Or like maybe he like did something just mean to her or ghosted. Maybe because he ghosted her, she feels hurt. Like I feel like there's certain situations where this could be innocent and have nothing to do with Sarah, really. Like maybe he ghosted her.
This isn't the first one.
It's another bit. It's somebody else.
This TikTok is not the only one who said this about Ben. There's another TikTok where they say he only wanted to go for their clout. Go there for clout.
For clout. Do anything for clout.
Damn, he seems so genuine. Alex and Ben both have bad reps in Minnesota.
Damn.
Girl, Kayla, you better go get one of them.
Please. That's bad. But I honestly, like, I'm not worried for Sarah. Sarah's not marrying a nigga. She's not going to marry him if she finds anything else out. And I feel like she might. And in this moment, we leave the episode and she's like, put it on the floor right now. Because if I find anything else out, I'm leaving. And she means that. I genuinely believe she means that. She don't give a fuck. So he either is going to put it on the floor next episode or he's not. And she's going to find
why, like, because, like, even when she called him out, like, that's why I feel like he was hiding something. Because it gave very much, like, I'm lying. Yeah, and it's like, if you are serious about her and you want to move forward with this, the best thing is to be honest.
Because what could you have done?
Feel like I'm just gonna lie. Like there are people in this world, you will literally see them do something.
Yep.
And they will still lie in your face like they didn't do it.
Yep.
You know, like, girl, just tell the truth. Like it's like I feel like it's like something like they go get whooped or punished or something. Girl, you're an adult. Just say what the fuck you did so we can move forward from it.
You know what would be crazy? What if he outed her? What if he outed her? That would be sad. But I mean, it happened in the past.
Nasty.
But like, what if it's something to do with like the LGBT of it all? Because they kept making that their storyline. So I'm like, what if that is a part of it? Like, because why wouldn't you want to share?
More is gonna come, and it could be about that.
I just feel like what could he have done that he wouldn't want to share with Sarah?
Cheated.
Maybe
played
cheated.
in her face.
Played in her face. I don't get it. Because if you just ghosted, he already told her he ghosted her, but that sounded like a lie. So you must have did something more than that. Maybe he cheated on her.
Oh, okay,
like, What else?
They saying Storytime with Ricky confirmed the TikToker girl, Andra, what the fuck? I just got that fast. Only went on 2 dates, but heard stories from others that he was also trash.
Okay, so that's my other option. Maybe he ghosted her and she's mad about it. And she feels like you're a bad person. Why would you do this why would somebody get with him? Girl, I don't know. But we'll see next episode, potentially, how it goes. I feel like at first I thought they could get together.
Yeah.
And now I feel like they can't.
Poor Sarah. I actually really like Sarah, but hey.
Yeah, me too. Oh, and next episode, they're also bringing back the other couples, right?
Yes, the other. So that's going to be really, really interesting. It gets real messy when they come back.
Yeah, because Molly is coming back, so that's going to be something big for sure. So we'll see how that goes, honey.
Could you like
what?
Like, let's say, like, is this legal? Can the show do this? Let's say Dave, he talks to Molly, and he's like, I want to get married to her. Fuck Lauren.
He just start the process with her.
Like, can they just like remove Lauren and then him and Molly get married in like 2 weeks? Like,
you're sick. You're sick.
Like, but like, or in general, like, what if he was like, I no longer want to be with Lauren. I want Molly.
You're sick.
Then what happens? Do they just leave the experiment? Do they just say fuck it and go run off together?
Yes, they're not gonna fund that. See, Fred said Megan Mason. They've done that in the past season.
We need to get into old Love is Blind. Someone commented on Twitter that we need to get in Love is Blind UK as well. No shade, if Love is Blind US is giving like this, we may just start looking into Habibi UK.
Them other countries probably give it, honey.
Because
Zach and Bliss did it. That's crazy. Are they still married?
That's crazy. Did they get married in the season, or they just ran off together?
That's
and, like, got married
actually crazy as fuck.
Because Zach and Bliss, that's sick. Let me Google them. They are sick as fuck.
Who's
the girl that got left? If I got left, I'm finding that bitch and I'm fucking her up on TV. They got married. They have a kid.
They have a baby.
Girl, what they say? Don't let someone in a relationship stop you from
your wife. Okay. First official Love is Blind baby.
That's crazy. Wow. That's actually crazy.
I want to go see that one. That sounds like a good story.
Wow. Because it's kind of like, damn, but they actually got together and had a baby. So
now David and Molly could do that. That might happen.
Okay. the girl that he left was toxic as hell. He chose wrong. Okay.
Interesting.
Chad, that is crazy. It's so cute that they found each other though.
That is cute. Wow, what a storyline. God damn. We'll be back next Sunday. We'll be talking about the rest of the episodes of Love is Blind, honey. Also get into our other coverages. We are doing Drag Race. We're doing The Challenge. We're doing The Traitors. And then we have Survivor Australia and Survivor US. And then we also have The Amazing Race. And we have some surprises coming up soon. So definitely get into all of our coverages. Tired. We do have a lot. And thank you for keeping it real with the Kingdom, honey. We out. Bye.